Okay, sorry about the delay there. Had ran into a few issues this morning or this afternoon for your lunch hour. I wanted to start out here with thank you for joining this afternoon. Like, share this update, let everybody know. We did get upgraded into a moderate risk of severe weather. My trying to say it in the chair and I couldn't. It came down. Yeah. So we got issued into a moderate risk of severe weather. And that was probably going to be expected, in my opinion, based on the data this morning that I've been looking at. And we're going to get into all of that here in just a minute. I did want to mention first to make sure like and share the update. And then if you are on the WeatherPulse app, thank you for joining on there. There's live coverage now. Whenever I go live, you'll get a alert on your phone. This was something that everybody was asking for. I got that put on there now. It caused me to have some delays on the Facebook end, which I was concerned about. But it looks like everything has been working fine here so far. So if you can give me a thumbs up on Facebook to let me know that everything's working fine on the Facebook page, that would be awesome. Hopefully you can hear me and we're good there. And on the WeatherPulse app, if you there at the bottom of the screen there on the live coverage, there's a little chat button, or actually it's a little down arrow. You click that and you will be able to chat live and ask your questions. So I just wanted to make sure that feature was added into the app so that you can talk or chat with me live in the app. So Michelle said she didn't get an alert via the app. So your notifications may be off on the app. So if you didn't get it on the app, just go into your phone settings and make sure that that's turned on, because it did go through, I think. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it did. I know a lot of people are very, very concerned about tonight. And I think you should be aware. I don't think you should be scared. I think you should be informed and be aware that it could get problematic tonight. The data does suggest a high potential for severe weather. I mentioned it yesterday in southeastern Indiana specifically, along really along I-75 and points west. There's a significant threat for severe weather tonight. And we're talking probably 2 to 3 pegs higher than Sunday's threat. So had 4 tornadoes in the area Sunday night. So, you know, we're bumping that level up 2 to 3 times. So it kind of helps you understand where we're at on the level of concern for tonight. And the Storm Prediction Center is starting to talk about it too here. So the tornado threat is there for sure tonight. I will say, I think the big threat in my mind would be destructive winds. There's going to be tornadoes, no doubt, along that line, and I'll show you in the data. But really, 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 really concerned about damaging winds, I think in excess of maybe 70, 80 mile an hour. And could see widespread power outages. And sometimes, you know, you guys, you check these updates and you listen and you're like, okay, well, you know, 70, 80 mile an hour winds. Well, there's really no difference between an EF0 tornado and 70, 80 mile an hour winds. And really, if you have a line of storms producing 70, 80 mile an hour winds with embedded tornadoes in it, that's going to be way more of a bigger deal than anything. And then on top of that, I do think strong tornadoes are possible in parts of the area. And when I mean a strong tornado, I mean an EF2 or greater tornado. And what that would be, an EF2 tornado, is winds of 111 to 135 mile per hour. So I know some of you guys start thinking about tornadoes that are 200 mile an hour, 166. We're not going to see EF4, EF5. That's out. That's not going to happen. But we could definitely see some EF0, EF1, EF2 tornadoes in today's kind of where we're setting up today. I'll show you those areas where I do think an EF2 or greater could be possible. And we'll go through all of that. I want to start at where we're at right now. I want to pull up, let me just make sure it's running. I want to pull the weather camera up, and I want to show you what's happening. It's a really good indication of what's happening outside. Notice the wind, notice the trees. They are booking it right now. We've got strong winds. This is really strong wind gusts moving through. We're up to 76 degrees. And since the last time I looked at this, the dew point has risen almost 5 degrees. So what's happening right now is what we call surging. We are surging into warm air. We're surging into a more moisture-rich environment, and we're setting the stage for significant severe weather potential in our area. So I just wanted to make that clear to kind of show you. We're at 76 degrees at the lunch hour. 76 degrees. And as we go through the afternoon, there's high potential, and there's a gust of 20 mile an hour right there. There's a good potential that will go over 82, 83, 84. So if you follow me, you're thinking, all right, Chris, we got dew points in the 60s. We've got temperatures in the 80s. That should be sufficient for severe. And it absolutely is. So as we go through the afternoon, expect the winds to continue to increase. We're also going to see those dew points increase, and the temperatures are going to continue to increase. I have screwed this chair up, by the way. So get ready for a very warm day, very windy day. I did check. There are some reports off towards the southwest of some damage already from some of these winds, and seeing some wind gusts already over 50. And some of you guys are going to have gusts that will go over 50, 55 today with the environment that we're kind of in. So I just wanted to show you there. That tells the picture of where we're at right now with wind. And just look at that. The temperature is now up to 77. We're surging fast. So let's get into the discussion here. I know I think we've got 200. Let's see, got a lot. Got a lot of people here. So let's go ahead and make sure you share this update for me. Share this update, like this update. That gets the algorithm to know that people are wanting to watch this. So let's go into the discussion here. Let's talk about what's going to happen. So first off, I want to show you satellite and radar. So let's go there first. And you've got right now. I'm gonna pull my pulls up here. There we go. I'm gonna put a loop on here. So we've been seeing clearing here this afternoon, and that clearing continues to take place. But there has been some clouds that have started to increase, especially to the west. I'm gonna try to see if I can switch this. See if this will look a little. There we go. I want you to notice in the satellite imagery, notice these little wave-like patterns that are showing. These are what we call gravity waves. Gravity waves are a good indicator of a potent atmosphere. There's good indication that we're seeing rising air in the atmosphere, and it's a good precursor of severe weather. So the satellite picture really showing a lot here. You'll notice off towards the north and east, we've had severe storms that have moved. I'm going to see if I can pull this full screen for you. If it'll let me, come on there. So we've had storms that have went severe into parts of central and northeastern sections of Ohio. That warm front activated quickly once it got to about Columbus, and then it continued to push off towards the east, producing some hailers. And now we're just left, all of us now, into this warm sector. And we're going to continue to warm, and the atmosphere is going to continue to bubble up. And a matter of fact, what's really cool is if I zoom this out here on a wider view, you can see the atmosphere just throwing all that moisture up into our area. I don't know if you can kind of tell there. So see that? Let me see if I can draw this for you. One of my favorite things sometimes is just to kind of look at the satellite, because it can tell us just so much of what's happening. And you can see, look at all that warm, juicy air just being slung right up into our area, just like that. Pretty cool to see, right? And that will continue here through the rest of the afternoon. Notice the severe weather that has been going on here into parts of, come on, there we go, into parts of Missouri, into Arkansas, Oklahoma. That is severe weather that that is heading our way as we head into the evening and overnight period. We will see some of a weakening trend here before this will all kind of juice back up here. Here's the risk of severe. Actually, I want to look at. Okay, cool. Here's the updated risk of severe, and they really didn't do much to that high risk, but they did increase. Actually, that's the tornado probability, and I'll talk about that tornado probability. Here is that new updated severe risk from the Storm Prediction Center. And, you know, at this point, it really doesn't matter kind of what risk you're in. It matters what the threats are and what we're going to see. So here's the severe weather risk as we head towards tonight. And notice that they did upgrade. And I'm going to check each platform for all the comments and everything here in just a little bit. Give me just a second here. I'm actually talking to support here that's trying to help out with the live stream. So appreciate them on especially a day like today. We have a enhanced risk of severe for areas along and east of Interstate 75, and then areas along and west of 75. You're now in a moderate risk of severe weather. It's been a very, very long time since you've been under a moderate risk of severe weather. And that will basically mean that tornadoes, some strong, I'm going to show you exactly where I think that strong tornado threat is, and then destructive winds. So as we go through the day today, I need you to start thinking in your mind, where am I going to go in the event of a tornado warning? Where am I going to go in an event that Chris says there's a severe thunderstorm warning with destructive winds of 80 mile an hour? Those type of verbiages could be used tonight. There could be also what we call confirmed tornado warnings, or PDS tornado warnings. I think PDS tornado might be pushing it. But there could be confirmed tornadoes. There could be with a pink polygon. And that would mean, you know, that there is a tornado on the ground doing damage. You'll see some different type of verbiage too when I'm doing a live saying severe thunderstorm warning, and it'll be with a red background or orange background, sometimes orangish red. And that means that there's a tornado possible in that severe thunderstorm warning. And what that'll mean is, hey, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, and at any moment this thing could produce a tornado. So kind of treat that the same as the potential for, you know, a tornado that could impact you. What I would recommend you doing as we go into tonight is charge all of your devices, have your candles ready, your flashlights ready, your weather radio charged or batteries ready to go with it. have the WeatherPulse app. The WeatherPulse app is $2.99 in the App Store. That I will alert you sometimes when there's areas where there is a zone where I'm like, hey, I don't like what I'm seeing. I can go into that app and a program, and I can click a button, and it will alert those areas that are a kind of like a 911 for me. So here's that app, $2.99 in the App Store. It's in the, and I know Play is spelled wrong. I couldn't fit it all in there, but it's in the Google Play and Apple App Store. $2.99. The reason why it's $2.99 is because I didn't want advertisements in it. If you get advertisement in it, you get just aggravated. You're not looking through the info. There's daily discussions in there, daily forecasts in there, so much in there. I have not updated the daily forecast discussion yet for today because I've been so busy kind of going through all the data. And when you see me here at noon doing a Facebook Live, I'm pretty busy. So download that app. If you have a friend, family member, let them know about the app. $2.99. It's a one-time payment. Now, if you do have a Google tablet, you will have to pay, or you have an iPhone or whatever, vice versa, you may have to pay twice. But it's a one-time payment there in the Google Play and the Apple App Store. So let's go into the tornado discussion. So I just want to make sure that everybody's on and listening to the tornado portion of this. And Butch, thank you for helping me there. A PDS is a particularly dangerous situation. Those are, when you hear those words, that is and I know I'm kind of ADHD, so I kind of get off subject about things sometimes. So you got to kind of reel me back in. I'll make sure that you guys try to help me. A PDS tornado warning means that's the worst case scenario. That means you've got to be, you cannot be out on your porch looking for the tornado. And that drives me absolutely nuts. I see that so many times. If I say get to your safe place, you go to your safe place. You do not go out on the porch looking for a tornado. Or get in your car and start going to search for a tornado. That is not what you do either. Matter of fact, here's something that can help you know where to go in the event of a tornado warning. Interior room, lowest level of your home, a basement, and we use the duck method. It's down to the lowest level, under something sturdy, cover your head, and keep in shelter until the storm's passed. You'll get a notification if you have the WeatherPulse app when the severe weather threat is over in your area. I know that's something that sometimes that's lost track during live coverage. I try to make sure to let you guys know. That'll go through there, right there on the app. So there's your safety tips again. So preparing today, just make sure you've got shoes on. Make sure you got your helmet. The helmet's been something that's been brought up in the southeast towards Dixie Alley. I think it's a good best practice because it makes sure that a lot of people have a bicycle helmet, right? Even the kids, and they can put that on. That protects their head. And I think it's always a good best practice. So make sure you got the weather radio, the flashlight, your phones, your tablet, whatever tonight, ready to go. You know the drill. I've spoke the drill millions of times, so be prepared this evening for widespread severe weather and tornadoes. And I'm not coming on here to panic you. I will tell you that. I know how it feels to go through these severe weather situations. I've been through a lot of them. I know the number one thing that runs through everybody's mind is the Holton, Indiana tornado, the Henryville, Indiana tornado, the Piner tornado. That's where everybody goes to. Or they go to the 1974 tornado outbreak, and that's where they go in their brain. And I get that. This is not that outbreak, okay? This is not that potential for severe. This severe is high end. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to minimize it. But we're not going to see Henryville, Piner, Holton, 1974 tornado outbreak, okay? We're going to see dangerous storms tonight, but we're not going to have widespread significant damage. So I hope that helps kind of everybody kind of mentally prepare here as I start to go through the data, okay? I'm starting to see some of the comments. Y'all are getting impatient. You're like, what? All right, when's it going to start? Well, I'm going to start going over that data now. Here's the severe risk. This is the tornado possibility, and I think the Storm Prediction Center has absolutely nailed this potential. You'll see places like, and listen up, and thumbs up if you're listening, okay? Because I want to make sure everybody's listening carefully. Everyone now is in a 15% tornado probability. That means within any one point, if I touch Madison, Indiana, you're at least, actually that's a bad example. Let's touch Cincinnati, Ohio. You're at within a 25-mile radius of Cincinnati, Ohio. There is a probability of a tornado, a 15% probability within the point of Cincinnati, Ohio. If you live in Osgood, Indiana, there is now a 20% from where you're standing on the ground, and you draw a 25-mile radius around your body, that is the probability of a tornado in that 25-mile radius. So from Osgood, let's say all of Ripley County through parts of Jennings, Dearborn County, that's the area that would be under a 20% chance, if that makes sense. So it's within any one point, there is a 20% chance of tornadoes in Scottsburg, Madison, Bedford, Versailles, North Vernon, Greensburg, Brookville, and Connorsville. And I think that this is a very, 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 very good and laid out risk for the best threat for strong tornadoes. So listen up again. Within a 25-mile point, any of these areas, Bedford, Kentucky, Madison, Indiana, Scottsburg, Indiana, North Vernon, Indiana, Versailles, Indiana, Batesville, Indiana, Brookville, Indiana, Greensburg, Indiana, and Connorsville, Indiana. If you go, okay, well, you didn't say, DuPont, you didn't say San Jacinto. You know where you're at. You know you're close to North Vernon. You know you're close to Versailles. You know you're close to Greensburg. You're in that zone. And here's the map, okay? And here and hopefully that kind of helps you see exactly where that risk would be for the area. So hopefully, there we go. There is your severe weather threat full screen. This is actually the tornado threat, excuse me. Tornado threat. The bright yellow is a 20% probability. That's where I do think the best threat for a tornado will be. Strong tornado. Everywhere has the ability to have tornadoes tonight. But a strong EF2 tornado would exist in Madison, Bedford, Scottsburg, North Vernon, Versailles, Greensburg, Brookville, Connorsville area, and points off to the west and north, including Indianapolis, Louisville, Jasper, Salem, Bloomington, Columbus. Those areas also in the area of that EF2 or greater tornado. I have mentioned it several times here, so I hopefully you understand that is where the best threat for a strong tornado would be, okay? Now, let's go into the next part of this. Significant tornado threat. This is from the Storm Prediction Center too. This just means everybody has that threat for tornadoes tonight. Now, continuing the severe weather threat, we will talk timing in just a minute, but I just want to show you there's another threat of severe weather tomorrow. So, I don't want to just pass this. We're going to come back to it, but I just want to mention, because the way the graphics are loaded here, severe weather risk tomorrow. We're not done, okay? And then I mentioned last night, I said, hey, Saturday's starting to ring some bells. Guess what? We dropped Friday's severe weather risk, which I'm good with. Saturday is now under another risk of severe. So we've got tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday for risks. And on top of that, we've got flooding. So let's talk about the now again here real quick, because it really tells us the story. We've got 74 in Louisville, 74 in Owenton, 74 in Madison, 74 in Falmouth, 72 in the Madison area. I think we're now up to 76 in Cincinnati. So, and here we go. Here's the dew points. So you got to have those dew points to really get those storms and moisture energy going. So we've got 64 in Louisville, 60 in Madison, 59 in Owenton. This was updated just a little while ago. So basically, what this map is saying, we're surging, we're in good shape for moisture. And that's one of the biggest indications of what we need for severe weather. One of the bigger things. Flood watch. This will be the story as we go late tonight, tomorrow morning, over the next several days. It does look like the data has calmed down a little bit with some of that, and I'll show you here in just a minute. And then the wind advisory, which is actually not for tomorrow, it is for today. I knew I would forget to update something. That is for winds of 50 to 55 mile an hour that could occur. And I think it's a good bet this afternoon. We've already seen some reports off towards the west. All right, here we go. Timing. Let's go into timing. Let's make sure everybody's still here paying attention. Go ahead, share your like or post your likes there. I want to try to make sure everybody is engaged, following along here, so I don't have to repeat myself. I don't know why I'm talking. Hopefully, fix that. There we go. Okay, so likes there. I'm just making sure on YouTube, Facebook, we were good to go. Hopefully, let's see. Okay, looks like we're good here. All right, so let's get into that discussion of the timing. All right, so here is, give me just a minute. Wanted to make sure all of this is correct before we start going over that. Bear with me. Sometimes this computer likes to play fits with me. Okay, it should work in just a second. So let's do this. Let's go over real quick before we do timing. I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. The program hadn't loaded yet. Here's storm fuel. You'll notice we increase big time as we head into the afternoon. We continue to see that fuel in the evening. Here's when storms are starting to approach. Sufficient fuel, right? We still have those yellows showing. Still at 1037. Still have that fuel in the area. And then we'll watch that fuel start to clear out as that line goes through. Last severe weather episode, we only had units around 400, 500 maybe topping. This time, and remember, HRRR is always a little high. We can knock a little bit off of this, but we still have, 2 times the amount of fuel than we did last time. And this is what concerns me. These are winds a mile above the ground. This is evening. You'll notice anything in purple is 60, 70 mile an hour winds a mile above the ground. That low-level jet really, that's what we call it, that starts to kick in as we head around 9, 10, 11 o'clock. And that's what's really got me concerned for the potential for severe. You've got that strong push from southerly winds bringing in that fuel. We've got some very good CAPE values in place, which means convective available potential energy, if you've not heard that before. And with those winds howling a mile above your head, that low-level jet screaming, that is not a good sign as we head into tonight with the severe weather. You can see these are the winds. 88 mile an hour. This is a mile above, not at the surface, but this is the winds the storms can tap into with 70, 80, 90 mile an hour winds. Man, I tell you what, that spells trouble here for us. So here's timing, okay? Now, hopefully everybody's paying attention. Notice the future radar wants to bring in a couple individual cells right around 3, 4 o'clock. If there's a cap up on the atmosphere, that cap doesn't allow storms to go up. Basically, you got the stove going, you got the steam going up, but then when you put the lid on, it stops the storm, or stops the steam from coming up. That's what that cap is. And you can see it does struggle to get those cells going. So we'll see that there's a chance. If it gets going, there could be a strong tornado in that this afternoon. But I'm on the lower scale of that thought. The thought that I'm more concerned about is as we head towards 8 o'clock, you see this line of storms in central Indiana. By 9 o'clock, 9:30, this is on the doorsteps of you guys in parts of near Connorsville towards Greensburg, North Vernon. By 10, notice how powerful this line is. And along I-65, you see these hail cores in here. And there could be hail with these storms along I-65. And you notice these little inflow notches on the future radar model. Good indication of showing we'll have spin-ups along this entire line. As we head towards 11, you still see some potential for some hail in southeastern Indiana, but I will show you, you still see some notches there, but look at that significant bowing there from Madison up through Greensburg. That's a really good indicator of destructive winds. And at midnight, you see how much this thing bows out, going through Owenton, Falmouth, through, let's say, Georgetown, Wilmington area. This thing surges off towards the east-southeast. You still see those kinks embedded in that line. By 1 o'clock in the morning, this thing's in the Maysville area. More of a damaging wind threat at that point. And remember, as you were in the western parts of the area, you had more fuel. In the eastern parts, you had less. So this system will start to fall apart as it's moving off towards the east. But with that low-level jet in place, it will continue to kick these storms and be in high gear as they move into the eastern sections of the area. Notice that rain continues. Lots of rain overnight. The best threat for any flash flooding will likely occur tonight. And then we'll kind of clear out as we get into the day, midday, and then more showers and storms as we head into tomorrow night. So I want to go through, if you guys want me to go through that timeline one more time, I can. Just make sure you send some hearts up or anything like that. And I can go through that timeline for you one more time. One thing I like when I'm here behind the desk, I can do things for you right on the fly, but I do need water. All right, so we'll go through that timeline one more time. Katie, thank you, by the way. When you stare at a computer, as long as I do, your eyes really start to hurt, so I have to keep the glasses on. Sometimes I don't need them, but on days when we have severe weather, I tell you, my eyes will hurt for days after. Okay, so here's future radar again, okay? Because you guys are wanting it. Watch those individual cells if they get going. I'm watching radar like a hawk today, okay? At 4 o'clock, you see, don't focus on one particular area. These could be anywhere, okay? The whole entire area is primed for that potential. There's 4 o'clock. We'll see. All right, so as we head towards 5, 6 o'clock, there's still going to be that rotating thunderstorm potential. I still think the best threat's going to be after 6 if we get something going. Here's 8 o'clock. You'll notice in central Indiana, Indianapolis area, near Bloomington, you're seeing those severe storms, that line of powerful storms with tornadoes and winds moving through those areas. And then as we go into 9 o'clock, it's on the verge of Greensburg, Connorsville areas. Same thing around 10. We kind of see this southern part of this kind of eject itself further to the east. And we see areas like Scottsburg, North Vernon, Greensburg in that path of that line. By 11 o'clock, boy, this thing is racing off towards the east and starting to now move into a good chunk of you guys out in southeastern Indiana. So between 10 and midnight for you in southeastern Indiana, and then 11 to about 1 o'clock for the rest of you. That shows you how fast this thing's going to be moving. I'm going to be busy tonight. It's going to be boom, 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 and it's going to be really, really hard to be able to pick out every little small potential for a tornado along this line. So bear with me when I'm doing live coverage tonight. This thing really bows out after midnight east of Cincinnati, and we're seeing destructive winds throughout the entire area. I mentioned yesterday, I said this line looks nasty, and it's still looking nasty as it moves here, and the Storm Prediction Center is saying too, hey, I think we got to get a moderate risk out for these guys. So, and then I tell you what, I post something on there, and I don't mean to scare anybody, and then people start putting crappy comments. Leave your crappy comments to yourself today. I've got a lot going on, and I really don't have time to block you, but I'll block you. I work really, really hard to make sure to keep you guys ahead of storms, and I struggle sometimes with it too. I struggle with how much of an alarm button should I press because I don't want to cry wolf, but I also, and I'm going to use this as an example, and this will just show you. I was super frustrated at myself after the fact from the Boone County tornado that occurred. It was an EF1 tornado that went over the airport. Super frustrated with myself. And people that know me know that I was frustrated for several days because I didn't go live. And even though I was watching it on radar, and I was thinking to myself, I probably need to go live, I didn't because at the time there wasn't a warning. And I was like, the threat's there, but it could be a minimal threat. So I struggle sometimes with deciding what to do to press the alarm on. I think the more and more that I listen to your guys' feedback, the more and more I think you guys would be more prepared, wanting to be prepared versus being caught off guard. So that's why I'm on here today, because I'm trying to figure out in my mind. I think I figured it out. I think what I want to do is just always be over prepared and cautious versus not giving you that warning and not being on here, because it does that last tornado that went through the airport really aggravated me. And there was a lot of really hateful comments. Nobody was preparing me for this storm, and you know, I was live for a very long time that night. But yeah, those type of things that happen, I'm not going to let that happen very often, and probably won't let that happen again. So, but yeah, anyway, beyond that, we've got rain. I mean, a lot of rain. Here's Thursday, 4 o'clock. And you see rain continues into the evening on Thursday. Take a little break. Rain goes on Friday, and it'll continue on through Friday, through around, let's say, noon. We should dry out, and then there's more showers and storms. I think the severe weather risk is there for Saturday. You'll see the data shows that line of storms as we head towards the evening hours on Saturday. And that's going to be our final push. That'll bring that last threat for severe through the area. Still, I haven't had time to digest Saturday's system. I'm really, really focused on today. But overall, it does look like these rainfall totals have come down over the past couple of days. I think most places are going to be in that 3, 6, 7, 8, 9-inch 8-inch range. It's going to be hard, I think, to get 9 inches of rainfall here over the next several days. But it's still going to be significant flooding potential here over the next couple of days here. So let's see here. Let's go over excessive rainfall today. So that's under a slight risk, and then tomorrow's a moderate risk, and I tell you, tomorrow does look like the best threat for flooding. Tonight into tomorrow. Friday, we cut off a little bit, and then Saturday is another moderate risk for flooding, as we'll see Friday night into Saturday, just rounds. It depends on where things kind of place themselves, where we'll see that flooding occur, where that boundary really kind of sets up and just trains over the same area multiple times here. So let's see here. Here are our threats tonight. Damaging winds, I still think, are very high. Flooding's high. Tornado, I still have in that moderate category. And the reason why it's in the moderate category, not high category, is because if high, in my opinion, is big time tornadoes all over the area. But moderate would be a strong tornado, and a couple or several weak tornadoes are possible. And then that moderate hail potential is for areas southeastern Indiana off towards the I-65 area. So that, I believe, is it. I just want to show you that risk, that new enhanced risk of severe weather that does go up to Cincinnati and points off towards the west. Damaging winds, tornadoes, a couple strong tornadoes are possible. Several weak tornadoes are likely. But damaging winds likely. Destructive winds, very destructive winds, are going to be a big threat. So as we go through the rest of the day, I had this at 75 at noon, and we're at 77 now. 3 o'clock, we get up to 82. 6 o'clock, we're at 83. And then tonight, we'll start to see those storm chances rolling at 80. Anywhere between 6 and 9, could see a rogue storm. That rogue storm gets going, we got to look out. Did I spell today wrong? Nope, I didn't. Cool. I was typing really fast. 7-day forecast looks like this. I've got weather action days today, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And storms end on Sunday. And then we see a cooling trend as we head into Monday and Tuesday next week. And then we will finally kind of break, once that cooling trend kind of moves, or that cooling temperatures move in behind that front, we'll cut the severe weather threat and hopefully get a break for a while. And then hopefully this cooling spell hurries up and moves out, so we can start moving on into the late spring, summer pattern, which is warmer weather for around here. So, all right, last thing here. I know a lot of you guys are dropping off after you got your timeline here. Download the WeatherPulse app, Google Play, Apple App Store, $2.99 one-time payment. I'm going to answer some of your guys' questions now. I'm going to check YouTube first. Then I'm going to check the app, and then I'm going to check Facebook. So let me go through some of these. If there's any questions here, just bear with me 1 second. Yes, the wind. Amazing Grace Ranch. Yes, the wind is strong. And then Tracy, you're welcome for the updates. Okay, so there's YouTube. So if you're on YouTube watching still, I'm going to, I won't be able to look at any of those comments anymore. And now let me check Facebook. Give me just a minute. Or not Facebook, the WeatherPulse app. Let's see. Taylor, hey, I'm glad you like the update with that in there. I've been working hard to make sure to get that to work. And sorry for the delay here with the live today, because I was trying to make sure that that was working correctly. Let's see. Okay. And you're welcome. Okay, so I've answered all the questions in the app. Facebook is the beast that has a lot of questions. So let me let me go up through here. All right. Harry, the Jeffersonville, Fayette County, Indiana area, or Ohio area, you're going to be seeing that threat later in the evening. Let me see if I can pull. Give me just a minute. Go back. Oh, hang on. Ay, ay, ay. Let me go full screen on this real quick while I try to fix what's going on here. All right. Oh, we'll have to come back to that. It's loading. Crystal, ask your optometrist about, and well, okay, so Crystal, I did go to the eye doctor, and um my lenses, my new ones, are currently delayed. Or my for I They gave me a certain lens and I don't like them, and then I called them and now they're going to give me the new ones, and those new ones are now delayed. So I don't know what they're. That's been a mess. I'm trying to pull up future radar, but the computer is being a little difficult here. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me go back to the question of timing, because I want to make sure that you guys have that timing. So bear with me. Let's go back there. Okay, there we go. Let me zoom this in. I believe that was Jeffersonville, Ohio, was that comment. All right. Give that just a minute to load there. There we go. Okay. Now we got things figured out. Um, this is midnight. This is actually a new model run, I believe. And you can see, um, doing the same deal here, with that potential for that line moving through. It does look like that timing for that line is going to be 2 o'clock in the morning, area wide here. So it's doing a really good job here still on the same messaging. This is a new model run, and it'll run. There'll be a new model run every hour. We could sit here and we could go through every model run every hour, but I'm not going to do that. But I did want to just share this one here for you. Here is 1 a.m., and that's when that line would be moving into that Jeffersonville area there. So hopefully that helps you out there. Okay, and damaging winds, hail, or damaging winds and tornado are the primary threat here. Wow, that wind is going. Let's see what that wind is real quick. Still a gust to 18. Look, we're almost up to 80 degrees right there. Bam, just like that. Okay, let's go. Now that I got that computer working again, I don't know what happened with that, but whatever. I'll be Ashley, if you could, that'd be great. Is bathtub or closet the safest? Cameron, it depends. If the closet's like underneath a stairwell, I would probably go there. And if it's in the most interior, part of your house, that's where I would go. Um, Carrie says she appreciate. Yep, no problem. John, on a squall line, where is the highest area of tornadoes to form? Would it be below so it would be in these little inflow notches. Kind of, if you're looking on radar, I can kind of show you. Kind of like in these little, and this is just an example, but in here, in this kind of like this area, it would be kind of, you would see it in like these little notches in near Blanchester, and Future Radar has been just persistent on showing these little notches, so that's kind of what we'd be looking for. Yeah, and Becky, Ashley, all agreeing there with that. Be safe than sorry. Um, um, yes, Erica, download that app. I actually, this is an app that I developed on my own. Like, this isn't the Weather Channel app. This is an app that I completely developed from scratch. and hopefully you find it with ease and like it. And if you ever have a constructive criticism or comment that you would like something changed, I think Amanda Ward, I went out a while back, and they went and talked to the farmers at the Farm Bureau, or meeting there, and I think it was last year. So she's great people, but she was asking, why isn't the live coverage in the app? Great question. I've been working on it, but had trouble. So I kind of took a step back for a minute, and then I figured it out, and now there is a live coverage in the app. Crystal's asking, I don't have a basement, but the entire back of my house was built in underground. Where would the safest place? So I would probably go to the full, as far as back as you can, if it is in the middle, and make sure you're just not around windows. Janice saying, can you please check Vincennes area? Vincennes, I think you will stand the most significant threat for tornadoes today, and some could be strong. This is at 9 o'clock. So your time frame for severe is between 8 and 10, or probably 8 and 9. And you will have that high potential for some tornadoes today. So be aware of that. And Janine, I do not cover that area, and what you actually helped me here. Remember, if you watch this live update and you don't see your county highlighted, like you see how these counties are brown or black, bold, highlighted. These are the counties that I cover. Unfortunately, I do not have the bandwidth to cover, more than these counties. I believe, and I'm going to go on a tangent real quick, and I'm going to go back to questions, but I believe that once you start adding any more than these counties, you start to lose that focus of what's really important, and knowing, number one, knowing your community. Like, I know every town in this area. I know every road just about. If you ask me to get to, if you ask me how to get to the drive-in movie theater in Osgood, I can get you there. If you ask me, how to get to the McDonald's in North Vernon, I could get you there. If you ask me, how to get to, Friendship, Indiana, I could get you there. Like a flea market that goes on. If you ask me how to get to the Midway grocery store or the Kent, gas station in Jefferson County, Indiana, I can get you there. So, I'm a walking GPS in that matter. So, he asked me to get to the Pizza Hut in Hillsboro. I can get you there. So, that's why I believe local is very, very important, and knowing your area and knowing it becomes very, very, very helpful when you are, number one, trying to predict weather, because it just is. It's just hard to just cover the whole entire United States. I've had friends and people ask me, Chris, why don't you do what Ryan Hall does? Well, his is a little bit of a different focus. I do a forecast daily for a specific area, where he does live severe weather coverage every time there's severe weather, and it's more of just going over information. He does do analysis on the radar, but not as a, doesn't have that background of what the local area is and how things impact here in the local area. So, and not to dog him, he does a great job, love him. But I just want to kind of explain the difference there. So, Sandy, you are welcome. Melissa, you're welcome. Becky, you're welcome. Let's see. Yeah, Madison, Indiana is going to, and that's another thing I wanted to mention too. Let me find my clicker. There's my clicker. Madison's going to be in that time frame from 10 to about 1 a.m. I think everybody's going to be in that time frame, really, from 9 to 2 a.m. is the severe weather coverage, really, tonight. See that? develops out ahead of that at 9 o'clock, the HRRR model has really insisted on trying to get things going out ahead of that line. I don't want that to happen. Neither do you. Let's see. Timing for storms for tomorrow's storms for Southeast. Kesha, I am not going to mention that tonight. The tomorrow's storms. I'm just going to talk about today's on this live. Dillsboro, Rising Sun, Indiana. Here's future radar. You can see that the time frame there is going to be in that 10 to midnight time frame. Same thing for Sunman. You know, this is going to be a fast-moving system. Really, really fast. They're going to be booking it. I mean, there's going to be times where these storms are going to go up to 60, 65, 70 mile an hour racing off to the east. Let's see. Pam, the app is called WeatherPulse. I will have it does Facebook's thing. I've got it scheduled. It'll post throughout the day that app to download the app, so you can download that app. You can click the link at any time. It should. I think it will post here shortly. Travis, wind velocity on the radar app, on the WeatherPulse app. I had advanced radar on there for a little bit. Working to add that back, had to take it away for a short time. Jeannie, oh, Jeannie like a bottle. I'm so sorry, Jeannie. And I appreciate you following me. I really do. I try to answer your questions. Sometimes it's just super, super difficult. And I really appreciate you following me. Hey, Tracy, thank you for throwing that app in there. Appreciate it. What about Jennings County? What's the timeline? So Jennings County, you guys are anywhere between that 9 and 11 time frame. Whitney, yeah, I mean, just make sure you're covering yourself from flying debris. I gotta take a drink of water. Yes, north central Ohio is too far out of the area. Sean, good question with when will the National Weather Service put tornado watches out, and will it be for the whole area? So you can almost, you know, I've been doing this for a long time. Anytime there's an enhanced or moderate risk, you're going to have a watch at some point. But you don't want to issue a watch right now and then wait until storms come till 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then, you know, everybody caught off guard. So the watch will come a couple hours before the storms move in to give people time to prepare. And it will expire as it moves out of the area. Madison's in that time frame from 10 to midnight. Maybe sooner if those storms get going in front of it. That'd be 9. Harrison, Ohio, you're in that 10 to midnight time frame. Would you say Charleston has a greater risk of strong tornadoes? I think, Mandy, Charleston, Madison still has same threats. Union County, Indiana, I do not cover up there. Car seats, a good idea for kiddos. You know, hey, I think so. You know, it also keeps them kind of in one spot, and it's easy for you to manage. So, yeah, can help you out there. Okay, I think that's all the questions here. I've been live for a good chunk of time now. I just want to look at the radar with you guys real quick, just see what we've got going on, and then I will hop off. I appreciate all the questions you guys have, all the answers. Try to answer them for you as good as I can. I will be updating throughout the day here for you guys to let you know what's going on. And you do start to see some activity trying to go up here. Along the land between the lakes. Need to watch that. But there are pockets of clearing here or there, and you'll see that throughout the remainder of the day today. And then there's the storms that are off towards the north. That's that warm front that's lifted north. And I'm just curious, this temperature has been rising insanely. 78 still, dew point's at 64, but boy, that wind, it's hauling right now. And you can see just how much wind energy we have by looking at those clouds. I think it's crazy how fast they're moving. One of the reasons why I love looking at this camera, and I know it's pointing directly up into the sky, but it's one of those that, that's one of the things we need on a camera, is to be able to see what's happening there. So, let's see. Michelle, no more suggestions on the alerts. I don't know what that means. Kathy, I miss you. A tornado threat. There is a 20% chance within a 25-mile radius in Batesville. There is a strong tornado threat in the Batesville area tonight that I'm concerned for. Okay, that's it for now. I will continue to keep you updated throughout the afternoon. I'll probably have another live update later on. Oh, Michelle, you weren't getting alerts. I tell you what, I would delete the app and reinstall it and make sure you allow everything, and that should fix it. That'd probably be the easiest route to go. Yeah, that's it. I know, that's how fast those clouds are moving. It's crazy. Hopefully that will help you out with the alert notification too. Okay, I have to get off here. Okay, April's asking. I'm gonna answer just a few more, but winds of 80 mile an hour above the ground. What will it be on the ground? So winds could be on the ground when those lines are moving. When the line's moving through 60, 70, can't rule out an 80 mile an hour wind gust with that. So it could be very destructive as we head into tonight. Okay, I do have to hop off. I've got a lot of things I got to do here. If you got any more questions, this update here in just a minute will stop, and then you can go back and rewatch this update, and it should answer all your questions for you. So the tornado threat for Dillsboro is a 20% chance within a 20-mile radius, and that potential there is for a strong tornado too. And then Claremont County, your threat's going to be after midnight, and you can go back and look at the exact future radar and everything on there, but it's going to be after midnight, and damaging winds are going to be your primary threat with spin-ups along that tornado. So, okay, that's it for now. I will talk to you guys here later this afternoon, late afternoon into early evening, with another update on severe weather moving through. Okay, thank you.